In this video, we're going to show you how to make this adorable grapevine wreath. It is so fun, and I think this video will show you how simple it is. We've called up our pattern, and this is the beginning of the wreath. We're going to do 4 of these, and as you see, the whole circle is not machine embroidered. We've hooped background fabric. We made it larger than the hoop. You're going to need that to finish the wreath. And we've spray adhesive some interfacing on the back. That's pretty important. Then we've let it stitch out. This is just a large hoop, not a jumbo hoop. And we need this stitch because that's what we're going to align the pattern to finish the whole circle of the wreath. I complete 4 of these, and then I make a copy that comes with the pattern of the completed block, and I hold it up to the light and pin it so that all of these components match. And then with the white pencil, because I'm using black, I'll mark the corners and I'll finish drawing in the arc. Then with my ruler, my rotary cutter, I'm going to cut the squares out, adding 1/4 inch to the outside of these lines. And I'm going to make the stem by cutting bias strips and folding them wrong sides together, and then after I put 2 together and 2 together and then the 4 together, matching the circle, I put the bias strips, the raw edges are along that ring, and stitch it exactly. I do a little less than 1/4 inch, but I keep it uniform so the stem will be the same width all the way around. And once I go all the way around, then because it's bias, it will fold over and I can press it, and then I'll blind stitch that folded edge. Now I can seam the bias so that the ring is one continuous piece of fabric, or I know where the leaves are going to be placed, so I can put the joints where the leaves are because the joints won't show. Now the 4 pieces in the center are together, and I'm starting to blind stitch the stem down over the seam, and I've added the border, and then I've sandwiched this and I've brought the batting and the backing out further so that when I hoop the border, I'll have enough to grab right here. I don't have this out loose. And I've spray adhesive the whole thing, so the backing to the batting and then the batting to the quilt top, so that when I'm hooping and rehooping, it won't move on me. Now the pattern comes with a beautiful leaf quilting 5-inch wide pattern, and then for the center it comes with a really pretty leaf that goes to the center point and a pretty leaf that comes to the outer point, and then it has one that sits on this seam around, and it gives you markers for lining it up with the corner and the wreath. So I'm just gonna quilt it right now before I add any more dimension, and it's just gonna turn out great. Make the leaves. I'm gonna make a sandwich, and I've cut 2 pieces of fabric, placed them wrong sides together, and sprayed thin polyester bonded batting in between, and this will fit on in the hoop. I put 2 layers of water soluble interfacing hooped into my hoop, and then I put my sandwich on top of that, and I'll do the first stage of the applique for my leaf, which is a single stitch, and then I'll trim the extra fabric away. Now we've cut away the extra fabric, being careful to not compromise that single stitch. And then the next stage of the applique will be a zigzag, which is done the zigzag here, and then it will do a satin stitch, and then it will complete it with a really pretty leaf vein pattern down the middle. Then I'll cut away the extra water-soluble interfacing and soak it in water. And then now we've added our dimensional leaves, just sewed down the middle. There's a little bit of starch left in the fabric from rinsing out the water soluble interfacing. And so you can kind of bend them and they'll hold, adding that dimension, which is way, way cool. Then we're going to add our grapes, and you just with a double threaded needle based around the circles that are cut, and the sizes in the pattern, and then you're going to just stuff it as absolutely full as you can. The tighter you can stuff it, then the less wimpy will be the grape and more rounded. So kind of squash it down tight, and then you're going to just pull that fabric around until it closes. Really, really stuffed. Muscle it in there. And then what I'll do is go back and forth across the opening and close it even a little bit more. Then once it's closed, I'll take the grape and put the opening next to the quilt top and squash it down a little, and then with thread and needle stitch it just where the grape rounds around and hits the quilt top, right at that point. And I do little groupings of 3 and 1, and that you can do it any way you would like. Our quilt is finished. It turns out wonderful. I love the dimension in the leaves and the grapes, and it wasn't hard. I hope this video's helped you see how fun it is. Thanks for watching. Come visit us on our website and you can download this pattern. Thanks. Bye.